Another unboxing video. This one's from PrinceValorum. He sent me in December and I have never opened it, and now we're in February, so I figured it's too cold in my garage to do anything, so I'll just open this up. And this box is probably about 4 feet long, and it looks like he'd learned some packing tricks from ND28. The way this thing is put together. This is a full manual transmission 1995 Mazda 626 engine harness. So this is what will complete the swap to manual transmission. Yeah, I paid him some good money for him to pull this out of his own car, which his car was going to go to the junkyard and get scrapped. There's the full harness there in the box, and everything is actually still connected to the fuse box. That's like a pro pulling job there, bud. That's really good stuff. And this is what goes inside, and I already recognize these connectors. That's what's inside behind the CPU. That's the main body. Oh, and the ECU. Is that an EGR valve? Oh my god. No wonder. Pretty sure that thing's not gonna hold vacuum. Look at that. He even included the gasket. He zip tied the gasket. How thoughtful. PrinceValorum, you're awesome. I have another gasket, but that's still really thoughtful. So that is a legit MTX EGR valve, which is at least really neat because I'll be able to do diagnostics and stuff on manual transmission EGR valve, 2.0 liter. And here's the CPU. Kind of broke there a little bit, but whatever. I still have a good casing, and the casings are swappable. So even if that plug becomes a problem, I can just swap it right over to the one that I already have. You can just swap the internals out of this and chuck the case. I have no idea what that thing is. That's not the ECU. It's not anti-lock brakes. Don't know. I can look it up though. Neat. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but you know, that's still neat. Ah, manual transmission math. Yeah, that still looks pretty good in there. Okay, nice. Because these are actually hard to come by because of the frequency of how often the automatics fail. You don't really see too many manual 2.0s in the junkyards. People are still driving these around. That's why they last longer. So it's actually a little bit harder to find these in junkyards. Now the automatic MAFs, those things are a dime a dozen in junkyards because the automatics like to fail. This is a manual transmission 2.0 with MEX 2. One easy way at a junkyard to tell if there's like 100 ECUs just laying around, which one's an automatic and which one's a manual, because of this bracket. This bracket only comes on the manual. The automatic bracket right here looks different. Oh, a whole set of ignition wires too. Oh. And a manual distributor that connects to it. That's cool because I've had a time and a half trying to find this one. Well, that's kind of messed up there, but this little guy right there I think is either a capacitor or a condenser, which the automatics don't have those because they have a separate ignition module, not ignition module, sorry, ignition coil. Things seen better days. O-ring still looks good. The wiring is okay. I can clean that up, use that. That's pretty neat. Lots of, what is all this stuff? Oh, that's the cruise control diaphragm. It's a big, large, circular saucer on the manual transmission, and on the automatic transmission it's more like a canister looking. It's cylindrical, and on this it's a big circle. Man, it's all just packed in there really well. Is that the starter solenoid? What the heck is that thing? It's got a spring in it. Okay. I honestly have no idea what that is. And when I find out in the future, I will create an annotation right here to tell you exactly what that part is. I think that's it. I think the rest is wiring or cruise control related. Brackets, lots of little brackets in here. Solenoids, wow. Even pulled the EGR solenoids and everything. This is like one of the most full, legit, comprehensive wiring harness pulls I've seen. I mean, that's a kit and caboodle right there. That's everything you need. Holy crap. That's awesome. Now, I paid for that. I absolutely paid for that, okay? Anybody from Norway, just letting you know, I do pay for stuff, and stop sending me free stuff. I probably didn't pay enough for what all these components would be worth. His car was going to the junkyard, and he said he would rather that I have this stuff cheaper rather than just, you know, sending it to a junkyard and having it crushed. I actually get that a lot, where people want to send me stuff because they would rather me have it than having it sit at a scrapyard and maybe not be used. And he said he really enjoyed the fact that he knew that these parts of his car would live on in my car. So that's really cool, PrinceValorum. You did an excellent, excellent job. I know pulling all this stuff probably took you a long time, so I am very appreciative of all the time and energy and headache in order to pull this stuff without breaking it and getting frustrated and just wanting to cut it up into little pieces. I know how that goes sometimes, but I appreciate you keeping everything all plugged in and excellently labeled. Even though I probably know where everything goes, it's still nice to have those labels so that it takes the guesswork out. Having a manual distributor is really big for me. And remember, on the 95, there's no crank sensor. There's also no trigger wheel on the harmonic balancer, so I didn't need to swap over any of that stuff. That is all still included, all in the distributor. Your crank and your cam sensor are all in the distributor. It's only in 96, 97 when you start getting an external crank sensor because of the switch to OBD2. So that's very cool. Thank you, PrinceValorum.
To see your eyes smile, no doubt I'll keep my pride, but it may be hard to find. There's nothing left handed down a legacy, but more regret painted on with empathy. Smile,
You did an amazing job. Love you, bro. I'm sorry that your car died, but I guess, you know, consider this as an organ transplant. So that's very cool. Thank you. Cool.